Nobody saw this coming 12s. Just when everyone thought a defensive player's time in Seattle was over, and just like that, he's back on the Seahawks roster. And this wasn't some random move. A behind-the-scenes shakeup flipped everything, and now the locker room's a battlefield. Every spot is up for grabs. And that's just the beginning, because the injuries are piling up and the head coach isn't sugarcoating anything when it comes to the future of multiple positions. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick with me till the end, because today's video is on fire and it might just shift the whole outlook for our team. Let's kick things off with one of those stories that remind us how unpredictable the NFL really is. His name? Seth Coleman. Yeah, the edge rusher who lit it up at Illinois. We're talking 183 tackles, 28 tackles for loss, 15.5 sacks, and 15 pass deflections over 6 college seasons. He went undrafted, joined the Seahawks as a UDFA, earned a shot, and then, out of nowhere, cut on Monday before even getting a snap in preseason. For most players, that's the end of the line. But for Coleman? Just a stumble before the comeback. And let's be real, bouncing back like that says a lot about his mindset. He didn't just fold. He stayed ready, stayed locked in, and now he's right back in the mix. 2 days later, Seattle changed its mind and brought him back. Why? Because needs spoke louder than planning. Chris Stoll, our rock-solid long snapper, is dealing with a back injury. The front office had to make space to bring in Zach Triner, a vet at the position. Once the roster shuffle began, things shifted fast, and Coleman landed back on the squad. At 24, he might be considered a bit older in a league that chases youth, but he's still got juice. Especially if he proves he can slide inside and be more than just an outside rusher. Truth is, the pass rush battle is heating up big time. He's gonna have to bring it fast, because there's serious competition breathing down his neck. Connor O'Toole, Jalen Gaines, Jared Ivey, all fighting for the same shot. And the first big test is already lined up, Thursday, against the Raiders, opening night of the preseason. It's a game that could make or break careers. That first preseason game isn't just another day on the calendar, it's a make or break moment for a bunch of these guys trying to prove they belong. And for a guy like Coleman, there's no room for hesitation. While Coleman's getting another crack, another player's dream hits pause. Wide receiver Montre Foster Jr. landed on waivers/injured after a quad injury. If no one claims him, he's headed to IR. Foster wasn't a lock for the final roster, despite solid numbers from his Michigan State days: 89 catches, 1,164 yards, 6 touchdowns. But the WR room is stacked, and one slip can end it all. He still might make a comeback, but now he's racing against time and the odds. That's the brutal part of this league. 1 minute you're in the rotation, next thing you know you're on the outside looking in. Injuries, roster cuts, it all happens fast. And if things weren't already intense, the injury updates just amped up the tension across the fan base. Head coach Mike Macdonald held a presser before the Raiders game and dropped a flood of updates. First, some good news. Running back Kenneth Walker is back at practice after dealing with a foot issue. It might not sound huge, but it's massive for keeping the offensive rotation strong. In the secondary, Shaquille Griffin was back on the field after a week and a half away for personal reasons. But he didn't participate in drills. Macdonald made it clear, there's a plan. No rush. They'll take it step by step. Now, over at the center competition, things got spicy. Olu Oluwatimi, battling for the starting role with Jalen Sundle, missed several practices with a back issue. He's being evaluated day to day, but this close to game action, every rep counts. And speaking of injuries, linebacker Tyrese Knight had everyone holding their breath after limping off the field Monday. Coach said it's a knee snag and he's getting tests done. Same goes for Mike Morris, who's in the fight for a spot in the defensive line rotation, now being evaluated with a lower body issue. And it doesn't stop there. Steven Sims, our return specialist, has a thigh injury and remains a question mark. Linebacker Josh Ross had hand surgery, but should be back soon. And Chris Stoll? Still no timeline for return, which totally explains the move for Triner. It's been a lot in a short time, 12s. And all of it could impact what we see in the very first preseason matchup. The depth chart is moving constantly, and this coaching staff has no choice but to adjust on the fly. This is what a real test looks like for coaches, players, and the front office. But hold up, because this next part might just be a game changer for the Seahawks defense. I'm talking about the biggest saga in the NFL right now, the possible departure of Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, the pass rushing monster. 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 52.5 sacks, 63 tackles for loss in just 4 seasons. The guy's a straight-up wrecking ball. And now he's at war with the Cowboys front office over his next contract. The asking price, $40 million per year. Expensive? No doubt. But is he worth it? A lot of experts say yes. Former wideout Michael Bumpus said it outright. He's worth every penny. And you know what? He might be right. Seattle has the cap space, over $34 million in 2025, $53 million in 2026, and a whopping $129 million in 2027. Plus, we've still got all our first-round picks. And let's be real, we need pass rush help, especially with Uchenna Nwosu's status up in the air. Parsons would fit in naturally. Giving up 2 first-rounders is steep? Sure. But think about it, when was the last time a defensive talent like this hit the market? A player like that sparks an all-out bidding war. And if Seattle dives in early, they could win it. If Schneider and Macdonald believe he's the final piece to elevate this defense, now's the moment to take that swing. These chances don't come around often. The defense is already trending up. Young guys are developing, and Macdonald's system is starting to click. Plugging Parsons into that mix? That's throwing nitro into a turbo engine. This division is stacked with high-powered offenses. Getting after the QB isn't optional, it's a must. And even if the trade doesn't happen now, just the fact that Seattle's even considering making a move like this shows one thing: they're not here to play around. The window's open. This roster has juice. And the front office looks ready to go all in. Bottom line 12S, this is far from your average chill preseason. The background noise is loud. Players coming and going, injuries shaking things up, and trade rumors that could flip the script. Coleman's return shows how every snap counts. Macdonald's injury rundown is a wake-up call. Roster management is everything. And the possibility of landing Parsons? That takes the conversation to a whole new level. This is the kind of offseason where every headline could be the beginning of something huge. Now it's your turn, 12s. Which of these updates hit you the hardest? The pass rush battle? The injury news? Or the Parsons bombshell? Do you think it's worth spending big for a guy like that? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications, cause this season's just getting started, and it's gonna be wild. Let's make some noise, Blue Nation! Go Hawks!